Hello everyone, hope you are doing good and welcome to my channel. So this video is special in the way like this is a full tutorial of how to draw a hyper realistic sketch. So I always wanted to make a full stretch video. So it is going to be a long video because it has taken me around more than 8 hours to draw this sketch. This is of an Indian sage and it is a hyper realistic sketch, so it has taken me more than 8 hours. So I'm just trying to do it in half an hour video, full length video. So let's begin. So as you can see, I'm drawing the outline of here. So in the outline part I am drawing a mustache, I'm drawing the beard, and I'm drawing the face. So what you can do is you can take for any reference. If you want to draw, like you can take any reference on the internet that you want to, like you can mix and match. You can draw from your imagination the eyes, like what you want to be, the shape of the mustache, the shape of the beard that you want, but you can take a small hint from that of any image from the internet, right? So what I'm doing is I'm drawing a turban over his head right now, and yeah, so I think the outline is getting finished. As you can see, just basically it's just a rough outline. There will be many changes afterwards, but what you have to do is you have to make a rough outline regarding it, right? So yeah, and then I'm drawing the details in the turban. So first you have to draw the basic rough outline, and then you'll be drawing inside. So the principle that I'm following here is from outside to inside, right? The outside outline is done. Now we'll be doing the inside outline, the things where we have to shave and right. So I'm drawing the eyes as of now. This is not the approach that I usually follow, but in this case I'm following this. Usually we draw the facial features first from inside and then we go to the outside, but here I'm doing it in reverse. So because there is a reason because why I'm doing this, because this is a A3 sketch and it is going to be a large sketch. So I'm just trying to see whether it will fit in my sheet or not, and what size of proportions I have to do, right? So what I have done is I have drawn the inside outlines here, and I'm using the pencil measurement method. You can use any measurement method, but I generally use pencil measurement method. What we do is we measure the ratios of the eyes to that of the nose and to that of the mouth, right? So here what I'm doing is I'm trying to do the outline areas. I'm drawing the inside outlines, the brows, the eyebrows, and the wrinkles over the forehead, right? So I'm just trying to do that. I'm just measuring the nose area, like how much. So the rule of the thumb is you have to, the nose is of that of the whole face is divided into three parts, right? The 1/3 is that of the nose, 1/3 is that of the tip of the nose to that of the forehead, and then 1/3 comes from the tip of the nose to that of the tip of the chin, right? If you're following my videos, you would be understanding it. Rest, but in this case, the nose and the forehead is okay, but since I am drawing a beard, so it will be bigger than that of the 1/3, right? So what I have done is I am drawing the mustache right now, and in that I will be drawing the inside shading, inside areas, like inside outlines, just so as to be clear. So you got to shake the mouth in the inside part, right? And then I'm drawing the outlines of that of the beard. So I'm just inadvertently shading the areas of the mustache. I'm going over the outline of the face. In this case, I think it's pretty cool right now. The outline looks finished as of now. The only thing that is left is that of the turban area. So in that we have to draw the inside outlines, because the turban has to be looking, see, because we are making a hyper realistic portrait, or a realistic you can call it. So the turban should also look in a realistic way, right? So it should look like a cloth, not like a two-dimensional thing. So you have to be very careful in drawing the turban, right? You cannot draw haphazardly. The pattern should be good, only then it will look realistic. So I'm just drawing the inside outline of that of the turban, right? I hope it's coming good. Yeah, now it is done. The area is done. Okay, I think the outline is finished as of now. Turban is looking good. So as you can see in the image, the turban covers more than half part of the face, right? The size of the turban is like the size of the face, so that is why this drawing took me more time, because you have to make details in the turban, in the face, in the beard, all three of this separately, right? So let's see. Yeah, as you can see, the final image is here. Final image looked cool. I think it looked cool. So yeah, I have skipped the part here. Skipped in the sense like I have drawn, I'm just shading the eyes. I will tell you what I have skipped. I am shading the eyes, the darker areas, with that help of the charcoal. I have shifted the part like because the video would be longer. The thing is, I have used a 2H pencil to just shade over all over the face, right? All over the face you have to shade with a 2H pencil. So that I have skipped, and then the darker areas I am opting for, like that of the eyes, with the help of a charcoal pencil. As you can see, the eyelids I'm drawing, since he's an old man, elderly man, so his face is more wrinkled, so you have to focus on the wrinkles as well. So the thing is that the thing that you have shaded with the help of the 2H pencil, now you have to use a cotton earbud or any cotton that you have in your home, or a brush, painting brush, so that you can use it to blend your skin textures. We use blending technique to do skin textures. You can leave it that way also, but then it won't be a realistic approach, right? So to make it a realistic portrait, you have to use a blending tool. So that for that reason I have used a cotton earbud, right? So what I'm doing is I'm using a mechanical pencil right now just to create the hairs that are coming out from this eyebrow. Since he is an old man, so we cannot draw darker hairs, right? If the color of the eyebrows, the hairs of the eyebrows determine whether it's an old man or a young man, because younger people tend to have a darker eyebrows, right? So what I'm doing is I'm just making the outline of the eyebrows, the wrinkle areas. See, the anything that is dark, you don't have to shade it with that help of the graphite. You have to shade it with that of the charcoal pencil. The reason behind this is once you shade it with the graphite, then it would be very difficult, just impossible. I would say very difficult to to superimpose the layer of charcoal over it, right? So you have to fill the darker areas first, like the charcoal eyes, and then you opt for the lighter shades, right? So as you can see, I have just shaded the darker areas like the wrinkles of the face with that help of the charcoal pencil. Then I'm moving downwards and I'm using the chalk for the nose area. We are developing the nose area with that help of the charcoal pencil. Later I'll be blending that also. So as of now, just opt for the darker areas wherever the darker areas are, the wrinkles over the face or the nose area, anywhere that you have, just opt with that help of the charcoal pencil. This is just a second layer we are opting for. There will be a third layer also. This technique is called as layering, just to give your sketch a three-dimensional effect, right? If you don't do this, it would be like a 2D sketch of. So since we are making a hyper realistic sketch, we need to opt for a layering technique, right? So yeah, as you can see, now I am using the cotton earbud to just blend out the darker shades with that help of the with the help of the earbud. I'm just blending out the darker areas first. Okay, so let's see how it goes. I think it's cool right now. The thing is, you should use anything. Like I'm using the cover right here, a cellophane cover, so as not to smudge my drawing, because the charcoal tends to stick to your hand, right, and it gets smudged. So to avoid that, you should use a butter paper or a polycellophane paper, just to just below your hand, so that it doesn't get smudged. So for the lighter shades, for the lighter areas, the to create light and shadows for the contrast, you should use an eraser. Should use a Tombow eraser if you have. If you don't have, just like I am short of that, so I'm using a normal eraser. I'm just shading it with that help of the pencil, the areas, opting for the darker and the lighter shades, the shadows, to make a contrast. The more light and darker areas you have, the more contrast you have over the drawing, right? So yeah, I think it's done. Mostly it is done, the outline of the face. This is just a second part. I mean, it's not even halfway through. We are with the whole sketch. I think it's 30% complete, the sketch area. Okay. So now we will be moving towards, I'm opting for the darker shades towards the side of the face with the help of the 2B pencil. For the darker shades, you can use a 2B pencil. For the lighter shades, go for 2H. H. Darker areas, go for 4B, 2B, accordingly, right? So the wrinkle areas, I'm going for the charcoal. Charcoal gives a huge contrast, right? The white and the blacks. The blacks that you can opt with the help of a charcoal pencil are just on another level. That what you can opt with that of help of the what with the help of normal charcoal, normal graphite pencil, right? So I think, yeah, it's cool. So just let's go with the help of the, yeah, yeah. So I think the face area is now is complete now. It's 80% complete, I think. So I'm just giving a finishing touches here and there, smudging, and also you have to see like where all it needs smudging after completing the portrait. You can always check for counter check for the areas that need smudging, the darker areas, the lighter areas, for giving it a finishing touch, right? So we'll be analyzing it again once the whole sketch is complete. And then, so after this, I'll be moving towards the turban area. Then we'll move towards the beard. The beard is a very prominent feature of this portrait, because we will be learning a lot in the beard session, right? Because it's a white beard, not a black beard. For a black beard or a gray scale, you can simply use pencil and the charcoal pencil with the help of that. But for a white beard, you need to use some different techniques, right? Like indentation technique, um, or you can use a Tombow eraser, mono eraser, or a kneaded eraser. So I think, yeah, the it looks really good. I think the half portrait looks really nice, as you can see in the image. Yeah, so now we are moving towards the turban. So for the turban, as you can see, I have outlined the face with the help of the charcoal, so that we don't mix the face with that of the turban. And I'm using a cellophane paper and beneath my hand, so that I don't smudge the whole portrait, right? So now what we are doing is we are opting for the darker shades on the turban areas with the help of the charcoal pencil. In this I'm using a normal charcoal pencil. I generally use Camlin or Apsara. You can get in the market nearby. It comes in a set of 10 or a set of 3. So around it is, I think it is 15 to 20 rupees per pencil. So you can easily get it near in the nearby shops, right? So yeah, I'm using that to darken the areas, opting the darker areas in the turban. The thing in the turban is we need to make it like a, so that it looks like a cloth, right? So what the technique that we would be opting is here, as we would be opting for a smudging technique afterwards, right? So here, as you can see, I am just darkening the areas The thing about the turban here is a general rule I am telling you. The anything, any headgear that someone is wearing, the area of the headgear, like around the face, as you can see, I'll be darkening that area, that whole area around the face. It will be darkened, right? And the areas that are far away from the face, that will be lightened. So it gives a light and shadow. It gives a really good contrast to it, because the shadows are there. As you can see, if you wear any headgear, you can see that the shadow is created over your head, right? So that shadow, you can use it over in the head region, or you can use it in the cloth region, right, over in your headgear. So as you can see, I am opting for the darker shades. I am outlining the darker shades with the I'll be outlining whole of the darker shades with that of the charcoal pencil, and then we'll be opting for the lighter shades inside those darkened areas. So as you can see, I'm quickly just outlining the areas, the outlines. See, the thing is, you have to maintain a pattern. If you do it in a zigzag way, it won't be looking good, right? When you'll be smudging it, it won't be looking good. It won't be looking like what you say, a cloth. It will look a 2D image. So to make it realistic, a hyper realistic, three-dimensional, you should be making it in a certain fashion. So as you can see, I am developing a proper pattern over on the left side of the turban, as you can see, and on the right also I'm doing it in a slanting, in a diagonal way, so as to make it a a pattern. So as you can see, I am just lightly shading the areas around the darker regions using an eraser. Then I think this whole process will be repeated in this section. Yeah, and then I'm using the over the turbine areas. So the main thing about this is the whole procedure will be repeated. So as we darken the areas with the help of the charcoal pencil, yeah. Okay, now the thing here, as you can see, the half of the turbine is complete. You can see in the image, and now we are moving towards the before moving towards the other half. What I'm doing is I'm using the charcoal to for the lighter areas. For the lighter areas, you can use a 2B pencil or a 2H pencil. Here, right here, I'm using 2H, H, or a 2B pencil according to the shades. We'll be using all three of them here, and then we'll be smudging the areas. As you can see, the cloth effect is now there. So yeah, this I'm completing the turban around the face. I'm just darkening the areas around it. Okay. Yeah. Now what we are doing is we are just using our H pencil to shade the lighter areas. Now we are moving towards the upper area of the region of the turban. The upper region of the turban, I'll be keeping it light so as to create a contrast over the head. Okay. So yeah, I think it is going really good. Yeah, the region over the head, I think it is. Yeah, I'm just outlining the upper part of the turban. As I'm repeating the process that we have done before, just using the charcoal to shade the upper areas. After using the charcoal, we will be moving to this the next step, which is the beard. The part 3 of the portrait, the beard. It is the most important step of the whole process. So stay tuned. As you can see, it's already a long video till now. You can see it in parts. You can see it half of the video today and the half tomorrow, right? You can see it in parts. I am not breaking it into parts because I wanted to make a complete video regarding a hyper realistic sketch, because I have not found any video over the internet regarding this, and I always wanted a complete tutorial so that you can get a hold of it, how a sketch is made, right? So yeah. So here you can see here you can see just giving a finishing touches to the turban, not doing any extra work. Yeah, don't mind me pausing over the because I'm just repeating the steps, so there is nothing much to explain here. I think I'm just repeating the steps that we have done before, just measuring the areas. I think it looks finished as you can see in the image. Later on, we'll be using a brush to smudge the areas. Okay, now comes the most interesting part, which is the beard and the mustache. So, since we have to do it, I have to make white beard. So, what I'm doing is I am using uh, uh, light pencils, 2H pencil, to make the outlines of what we'll be doing. So for the outlining areas, I am using a 2H pencil, and the 2H pencil will be used only for the regions because it's a wide beard. So we'll be using it only in between, not for the whole. You can get the idea, not for the whole area, just for the some of the areas. So as you can see right now, I'm making the mouth. So for that region, I'm darkening the whole region with the help of the charcoal, darkening the whole area so as to make it prominent. Later on, we'll be mixing it. We'll get to know. So I'm drawing the mouth with the help of the charcoal. Okay. So now we'll be moving towards the beard and the mustache. So for the mustache, as you can see, I have just shaded a little bit over the page. Now we are moving towards the beard. So I'm just haphazardly drawing some hairs here and there. So yeah, so the as it is a realistic portrait, so you'll be drawing haphazard hairs because hair tends to be not in a unidirection. As already I'm making a tribal portrait, from a villager, Indian sage. So yeah. So now yeah, this is the indentation technique that I was telling you about. I'm using a blank pen, an empty pen. So what I'm making is you doing is I'm making deep impressions with the help of the pen over the mustache. Many deep impressions. You cannot see on the image here, but you will get to know why I am doing this because it is an indentation technique. What you generally do is you use the pen. So even I am not able to see it. So for this, I'm using a phone's torch. The torch is being used to make the indentation to because so that I can see the deeper impressions over the drawing page, right? Because even I won't be able to see it over it. So for that, I'm using the torch for the light from the phone. You can use any LED light if you have around you. Okay, so I'm making deeper impressions with the help of the pen. Later on, we'll be shading those. The thing about this technique is when you will shade with the help of a darker charcoal or a lighter pencil, the impressions that we have made, they won't be shaded. Irrespective of that, the area which are not being imprinted will be shaded. Like the regions, as you will be creating effect over here, like there will be deeper impressions on the page and then on the surface areas will be shaded, but the impressions won't be shaded, so you will be creating a kind of a white here, right? So as you can see, what I'm doing is I'm using a pencil, so you can see the pencil is not going to shade the whole region but only the surface areas so that the impressions are left behind so as to create a realistic hair effect. It will be more clear to you once I do this. So the thing that you have to keep in mind here is to make use of the indentation technique. Uh, when you are making use of the indentation technique, you should be making many impressions, right? With the help of the pen. You should be making many deeper impressions, not one, two, or three, or you should be making many so as the hair looks fuller. otherwise it will look emptier and the beard won't look good, right? So as you can see, I'm making use of the pencil to just do the hair, and it is kind of complete right now. The lower part of the beard, you can see the pencil is not going to disturb the region where you have made the impression with the help of the pen. The pen regions won't be get shaded, but the surface region will be shaded, so it will create a contrast and it will create a white hair, right? If you don't make impressions, what we generally tend to do is we generally tend to make we can't be getting even spaces, like as you can see in between the hairs that we are getting, and you'll be smudging the whole area, so it won't be a white beard, it will become a black beard, right? So what I'm doing, because our mission is to do a white beard, so that is why I'm using an indentation technique. If you want to do a black beard, you can simply sketch around with the help of the pencil and you don't have to use the indentation technique. Okay, so I'm just adding a flavor to it, because that is why I'm using the indentation technique here. And also the camera is not doing justice here, because in real, if you look at it with the naked eyes, it will look complete a little bit different, it will look really good, but through the camera I'm not sure it is making a complete justice for the drawing. I'll be uploading the image, then you can see the difference what I'm trying to say. But yeah, for the video I don't think it is making a complete justice, but as you can see, I have created a pretty good impression of the hair that I wanted to show you. I think it is what I'm trying to do is I'm just trying to give it a finishing touch, the opting for the darker areas and for the lighter areas. So as you can see, I'm using a charcoal pencil for this. If you use a charcoal pencil over the indented part, you can clearly see the effects of indentation, right? Because it would create a great contrast between the whites and the blacks, and the beard would look really cool, and it would look authentic, like a hyper realistic video, like a hyper realistic sketch. Sorry for that. Yeah. So I'm doing for the mustache here. I think it's kind of 60% complete. I'll be repeating the step for the mustache and the beard. Yeah, so here we are going. As you can see, the beard region is done for now. Yeah, it's going well. Beard is complete. I think I'm just repeating the process just to give it a more realistic effect. I'm just using the darken areas. So as you can see, for the beard, what we have done, we have because of the indentation technique, we have reversed that shading technique of ours. What we used to do is we used to shade the darker areas first, right? So for the beard, what we have done is we have used the lighter areas first, and then we are shading the darker areas to give it a realistic effect. If we have done the other way round, it won't have been possible to light on the lighter areas, right? Because if when we will be smudging it, it won't be creating a white effect. Okay, so I think it is going to be really cool. It's going to look really cool, right? As of now, yeah, it's good. The hair regions are good. And now, as you can see, clearly see the effects of indentation, what I was about to tell you, right? Now the effects of indentation are really visible. I think we have made a good progress here. As you can see, the whole image looks really fine, looks really cool. So what I'm doing right now, I'm using a technique of smudging with the help of the charcoal powder. The charcoal powder, what you can do is you can Rub the charcoal, hard charcoal if you have in your house, on a sheet of paper, or you can rub your charcoal pencil on a sheet of paper, white sheet of paper, any paper, for instance, printing paper, anything. Then you can use a painting brush to use as a smudging technique, right? So we are just giving it a finishing touches over the wrinkles areas, as you can see. For that, I'm using this technique, the charcoal powder technique, using a brush to just spray the charcoal part over the face. I'm using a pencil right now. I'm just giving a finishing touches to the whole drawing. So I've included this so as to give you a real effect. Like if you have drawn the complete drawing, it is not finished. If you want to give a finishing touch after you have made the whole drawing, you can do it. You can do as much as you want over a drawing. See, I don't think any art is completely finished, right? If you art cannot be finished. Art can only be abandoned. You can only leave it. Like, yeah, you can, if you think you cannot do anything more towards your sketch or your painting or anything that you are making, then it's finished for you, like relatively finished, but not, because if you think it, the more time you spend over a drawing, the more beautiful it is going to get, the more realistic it is going to get, the more, what will I say, what I want, I think you got the message. So yeah, it's not finished until you think it is finished. So what I'm doing is I'm just giving it some finishing touches with the help of my charcoal pencil. So this thing you have to see it after you have made the whole drawing. If you think any area that you want to finish it off, you can see for that. Okay. So after I have done this, what I have done is I have also darkened the background area with the help of the charcoal pencil. Don't use a hard charcoal. If you have, use a charcoal pencil, I would suggest, for the background areas if you don't want to create, because if you use a hard charcoal, uh, only charcoal, not the I'm not talking about the charcoal pencils, what it will do, it will create some spots, white spots. It won't be as regular as that of a charcoal pencil. It will create some white spots. It won't look good if you are not intending to do it. If you want a complete opaque black background, strictly use charcoal pencil for it. Strictly shade it with the pencil. That I am not included in the video, but I'll be showing you in the image how does it the back with the sketch, how the whole sketch looks like with the help of the black background. I think it looks really cool. Yeah, that I will be uploading at the end of the video. So yeah, I think it's kind of finished now, but I'm just using a brush for the smudging that urban area so as to make it more realistic. We'll be doing all over the sketch, over the face or over the beard if it needs to be done. Only those areas if they needs to be done. So tell me in the comments, guys, how does the whole drawing looks. I think it looks really good. We have spent a whole deal of time for it. I spent more than 8 hours for this drawing, and the whole video, the time lapse that it took me, I think it's more than half an hour of a video, 35 minutes, 34 to 35 minutes around. So if you are not able to see the whole video on one go, I would suggest to see it in parts. So as you are drawing, the whole aim of this video is just so that you can, if you want to draw a realistic sketch, you can see the whole video, right? You can draw in part by part step by step. This is a whole instructional video, complete package, I would say. You can draw in a step by step procedure. You see this drawing and you are able to draw this, and if you are drawing this, then please send me the image of the video, not the video, I think the image of your drawing, the sketch, over to my other platforms. I would be sending my link below. As you can see, the whole drawing is now clearly finished. As you can see, for the black background, how does it look, guys? Please comment down. If you really like the video, please share, like and subscribe to my channel so that you get upgrades, so that you get constant updates. Okay, thank you for watching the whole video. Bye.